Hey everybody, Danny here with Total Geek Live, and today I'm doing a very unusual, in my opinion, unboxing, because I'm going to do an unboxing of a tabletop card game. It's called Churrascaria, and it's by an indie tabletop game developer called Absurdist Productions. I'll put a link down below where with their website and how you can actually purchase this card game yourself. I actually had the opportunity to test this game out, which is why I'm an owner of it now. A friend of mine, Kaiser, in fact, Kaiser here at Total Geek Live. He's been working on his own tabletop game, and I'm sure he's mentioned it a few times in the past, and he's been going through some different prototypes and such. And so I joined him last year up in Plano, Texas, at a location that was doing some beta tests, I guess is what you could call it, of various different tabletop games that people were in the midst of developing and stuff. And he and I actually sat down at a table and saw this, and we just started playing, and we started playing with some other people there and having a lot of fun with it. And then I talked to the game creators afterwards, the guys at Absurdist, and they're based up in Oklahoma City, so they drove all the way down from Oklahoma City to test us out here. And I immediately asked them, I said, I really had a lot of fun playing this game. You guys doing a Kickstarter or anything? And they said, well, actually, we're we're going to take all the information that we got from this weekend, and we're actually going to work on our Kickstarter in just the following couple of days. So just be on the lookout for it. So I did. I'm a huge Kickstarter supporter, and I've got so many different fingers in my hands in the little pots of Kickstarter projects all over the place, and it really resonated with me that here at Total Geek Live we're kind of an indie YouTube channel. I mean, we don't have a large following, although we would like to. So if you want to spread the news and love of Total Geek Live, please do that. Please, please, please. But indie developers really have a soft spot in my heart, and so I was totally on board. So once I got the Kickstarter going, I signed up, so I got my copy, and I've had this copy for a couple of months now, and been meaning to make this video, and I'm really wanting to play this game, but I'm like, no, I'll keep holding off. I'll hold off and hold off until I do the unboxing video of it. So I decided today is the day, so I can finally start playing this game with my friends and family, because I know they're going to love it just as much as I do. So without further ado, let's crack open this box, and I'll start reading some of the game details to you. Right off the bat, I'll do that on the back of this. So it's a fast-paced game of gluttony, and you want to try to eat all the succulent meats. So you think back to if you've ever been to one of those types of restaurants where they have the meats on the swords and they bring it out to you, and usually you have a little card that's on your table, and it's a dot, like a circle dot, red for stop and green for, hey, come over and give me all the meats that you have, green for go. And they usually have a huge salad buffet and all that kind of stuff, but it's all you can eat, and so you really get the chance to pig out. It's a nice little, I would, maybe only do it once a year. Here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we have a couple of locations that do this kind of thing. Refrain is one of them. Texas de Brazil and Fogo de Chao, something like that. But you can Google that and figure it out. But anyways, so that's the concept. It's what really fed them into making this card game is kind of their love for those types of restaurants. And I love the restaurants too. In fact, Fogo de Chao has like one of the best desserts. It's a mango pudding with a little chocolate syrup on it. And I mean, you know, definitely save room for that if you're a fan of mango. Um, just don't eat as much steak so that you can make sure to enjoy that the end of your meal. So, anyways, back to the game. So, you want to eat all the meats, the succulent meats that appear on your plate while avoiding the equally delicious but ultimately unsatisfying sides and desserts. Food theft, plate swapping, and general backstabbing keep the food flying. The person who consumes the most meats wins. So here, the components for this particular game deck is you've got 66 food deck cards, 40 action slash reaction cards, uh, 6 rules reference cards, 6 food request tokens, and the rule book. So you can play this game anywhere from 2 to 6 players. It's ages 10 and up, and the average game is roughly between 25 and 35 minutes. So, I got my scissors. Let's crack this open up so I can show you all the great artwork that's on these cards, and then I'll read the rule book a little bit more so you can get the details of it. So here we go. Here's all the nice, see all the nice meats on the swords? Yeah. See, a game by David Thomas, and the art's by Ellie Jang? Jang? I'm going to say Ellie Jang. So good job, Ellie. Here we go. Because I really like the artwork on this. It's one of the things that sold me on kickstarting this game for sure. All right, so I'm just going to jiggle the box a little bit so that. Come on now. There we go. All right, so the lid's off. Yay! Here is the nice, what I'm going to assume is the game instructions and stuff. So quick, I want to give a shout out to the credits here for all the people involved with this game. Game design was by David Thomas, development by William Thompson, art direction by Ellie Jang, additional graphic design by Shania Pond, and copy editing by Jacqueline Schlesner. Forgive me if I mispronounced any of those, but I'll put everybody's credits down in the description on there so people can read your names and all that good stuff, give you as much credit to this fabulous game as possible. So opening up here, we've got all sorts of nice information. If you can see all the nice information, and then they even have like pictures of the different cards and stuff. So starting with the first page. Oh, and nice, they have a pronunciation for it. So Churrascaria. Churrascaria. Okay, so that's really how you pronounce this, evidently. It's a Brazilian-style steakhouse that serves a seemingly never-ending supply of succulent skewered meat grilled over an open fire. An all-you-can-eat smorgasbord of fire-roasted chicken, pork, beef, and more is brought tableside and cut to order. While these restaurants also serve amazing sides and desserts, they merely get in the way of all that delicious meat. To win this game, the goal is to eat as much meat as possible while trying to avoid the succulent sides and desserts that end up on your plate. Meats add to your score while sides and desserts subtract from it. The player with the highest score at the end of the game wins. So you want the biggest number at the end of your game. I already told you what the contents were. So here is what a typical setup for 3 to 6 players will be. You give each player a rules reference card. So let's look at that. Let's see if I can find a rules reference card here. So it gave us, these are the little tokens. I was telling you about how it's red and green on each side. That's those, and there's 6 of them. And then here's the first deck of cards that is wrapped up. Let's see if I can try to open this with my trusty scissors. Okay. And there we go. Set that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, set those right there. So here are the basic rule cards. This is what you would hand out. A rules reference card. And I'll go over the basic rules. 2 actions per player turn. Hand size is 4 cards max. Plate size is 4 cards max. Action cards may only be played on your turn, and reaction cards may be played for free at any time if triggered. If your plate is full when you draw a food card, then you must eat the lowest value card already on your plate. All right, and it's nice that they give these to you, and so everyone has one so that you can, you don't have to really remember. You can just look down and reference, okay, it's my turn. Let me go through the steps and figure out what the heck am I supposed to do again? Because I was laughing at what was going on in the previous turn, and I'm still wiping the tears from my eyes and stuff, right? So then you're given the food request tokens. I'll pop one out here. Boop, boop, right there. Sim por favor and now. Now por favor. So no and yes. All right. And let's see. So we get the request token. Oh, a salada card and a frango card. Then set the extras aside. What is that? A salada card and a frango card. Not seeing that. Let's see if I can find it in, because these are all the menu cards here, as you can see. Whoop. And then they have various point levels and pictures, and I'll go through them a little bit later. I want to show you the different details of the cards, but let's go through here and see what's in this other pack. I'm seeing some reaction cards and menu items. So let's see here. Get out of there. So I don't know what the salada card and frango card are. Let's say extras aside. So here we go. All right. So these are all the action reaction cards. I'll set those right there. So here are the. Oh, that's the treat I was talking. Oh, it's papaya. Okay, they do a different one here. All right. So, anyways, I'm like totally digressing, but so everybody gets a salada card. So everybody gets one, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to eat it. So for this sake, we'll just set a salada card over here. So I've got my token, I got my salada, I got my basic rules card, and then a frango card. Frango. It's like looking through all of these and I'm not seeing a frango. So what do they call them? Let's see. Creme brulee. Man, I'm like, oh, here we go. Okay, so frango is a basic meat. So there you go. There's the frango card. So basically, you're starting. Everybody starts out with a +1, -1 card. Level playing field. You know, all good there. So got there, and then set the extras aside. So basically, you would take all the food cards and then set them aside. So this was what I'll do right here and set those aside because I want to show you all the artwork on those later. All right, so then you shuffle the food deck and place it in the center of the table. Have each player place their food cards face up in front of them and their food request token beside them, red side up. Make sure they leave space on the other side of the plate to act as their stomach pile or tummy. If you want to call it tummy, you can call it your tummy pile or whatever food holder, whatever you want. And so a face down discard pile for the foods that you've eaten. Now you separate the Summon the Pasadores cards from the Action Deck card and then shuffle the deck. So here are the action cards. So you would basically go through here and you're like, well, where is that? And what's called the summon summon those guys that want to bring you all the foods. Yes, so here I'm going to show you. There's three, looks like. Yes, so there's three of those cards. And I'll show you, because it's really, really cool artwork here. So summon the Pasadores. Immediately. See, look at that one. And then this one. Yeah, so really cool artwork there. Alright, so you would then set those aside. And then you would shuffle the action deck for the action cards. Then you deal each player 4 cards to start their hand, and then you shuffle the Summon the Pasadori cards back into the action card deck. So the layout I'm seeing here is food request token goes on the left, stomach on the far right. Your food cards would be in the top left quadrant, and then you have 1, 2, 3 spaces right there in your little play area. The turn order, how this works, is that the player who most recently grilled a steak in the real world goes first. So that would be interesting, because what if, well, I guess somebody would have had to have grilled a steak, and I mean, you're looking at like, what, it's been like 5 years since anybody at your table has grilled a steak. You gotta think that back far. Wow. But that's pretty funny. I like that. Kind of goes with the flow of everything, with the, what do you call that, aesthetic of the game, you know? So on the first player's turn, they may perform any combination of the 2 following actions, including doing the same action twice. You can flip any food request token, so not just yours. You could actually flip the token of another player, so from red to green. So that's part of strategy involved there. Perform a single eat action, moving 1 food card from your plate to your stomach, the discard pile. You can play an action card from your hand, or you can discard any number of cards from their hand and then draw the same number of cards to replace them. Players have a max hand size of 4 cards, so only 4 at a time. At the end of the player's turn, and only at the end of their turn, they must draw up to a hand size of 4. So you're always having 4 cards in your hand. So say you played 2 cards, maybe you did 2 eats. Then at the end of your turn, you've got to take 2 new cards to replenish those, so that you're always having 4 cards in your hand. If at any time a player draws a card and none are available, then you shuffle the action deck discard pile. At the end of their turn, each player checks their food request token. If it is green side up, they draw a food card and place it on their plate. A player's plate can hold only 4 food cards. If a player's plate is ever full when a food card is drawn, they must eat the card with the lowest value, moving it to their stomach pile to make room for the new card. All right? And this cannot be prevented. So lowest value. So if you have a negative value card, as you saw, the salads are a -1. All right? So if that's on your food plate and you got to eat it, there's no turning back. I'm guessing unless there's like an action, a reaction card that you can use, well, We'll check that out later on. Right, note. If a player's food request token is red side up, they cannot draw a food card, even if an action card would have otherwise forced them to. So it's good to know. There's, again, different kinds of strategies involved in this. So you definitely want to make sure. Myself, I would probably play this game a few times, just myself as a two-player game and test it out solitaire wise, just to try and get a good idea of what the strategy would be on how you would best play this game. So when the final food card has been drawn, the final round begins. Final round. All players will then take a final turn. The last turn belongs to the player whose turn the last food card was drawn. The game ends once that player has taken their final turn or once the food deck is empty and there are no more grill cards on the table. Players then add up the cards in their stomachs. Grill cards add points, sides and desserts subtract points. Cards on their plate do not count toward their score because they are still on your plate and not in your tummy. All right. And then the player with the most points wins. Woohoo! If there is a tie, the player with the most grill cards wins. So then you gotta count the meats. So if there's tie, you counts the meats, and whoever has the most meats wins. All right. If there is still a tie, then it's a battle to the death with the swords of meat, right? No. That would be cool. Maybe they could put little foam swords with foam meat hanging on them in a deluxe edition of this, and then they can battle it out, and as they're swinging and meats are flying off, whoever still has the most meats, or maybe they put the meats on their shoulders and they try to knock them off. I don't know. Well, I'll get back to you on that, but I have an idea for that. That'd be probably cool if they did a deluxe edition with that. But really, if there is still a tie, the player with the highest value grill card wins. All right, so food cards with effects. Get this. If a food card has an effect listed on it, that effect takes place when the food card is eaten. As an example, if a player eats a Frango card, they may immediately flip one food request token. Pretty interesting. And again, all of that plays into the strategy of how you can play this game. These effects do not count as one of a player's two actions for the turn. It's just bonus stuff for you. The Picana card is unique in that it requires two eat actions on the same turn to eat. I believe that is a really big point card, but we'll go through that when I go through all of the cards here. Action card special rules. Action cards, purple, may only be played on a player's turn unless as a result of a food effect. Reaction cards, which are in teal, may be played for free at any time in response to the action specified on the card. Reaction cards are played to a stack and can only target the last card played. Food coma, I love all these are in quotes, may be played at any time any player performs an eat action to cancel a single eat action. This includes feeding frenzy and gorge thyself action cards. Stop playing with your food may be played in response to any other played action card or reaction card to cancel them. This includes another stop playing with your food card. And I remember when we were testing this game back in last year that there was this whole multiple chain event between three of us where we're stop playing with your food, stop playing with your food, stop playing with your food. It was a boom, 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 and then we're like, okay, wait, what did we just do here? We had to figure it all out. It was a little bit crazy, but it was a lot of fun. A player may use a play with their food reaction card anytime another action card would force the removal of food from their plate. This includes both actions that would steal a food card, as well as actions that would force a player to eat the food on their plate. Then they choose what action card will be redirected against. Note, because this card redirects the action card, a reaction can target either the action card or this card. All right. And the Summon the Pasadores card. It's a brown card, as you can see with their color right there. They are special and should be played immediately upon being drawn. These cards cannot be affected by reaction cards. They are impenetrable. These guys are going to come around and bring you food anyways. Player who played it should draw a new action card to replace it. Alright, and then there is an expansion set for this. I don't have it yet, but I will probably be getting it eventually. It contains 6 drink cards. The setup is to shuffle the 6 drink cards into the food deck. If a player draws a drink card from the food deck, they should place it above their plate. Drink cards count as food cards for the purposes of all action and reaction cards, and as a part of a player's plate. However, they do not count towards the 4-card limit. When performing a future eat action, that player can either move a food card to their stomach as a normal, or move the drink card and trigger its effect. Alright, so that's pretty interesting. Alright, so that is the gameplay. Just another side note, and that was for 3 to 6 players, but the setup for 2 players, you would actually remove 5 of the play with the food reaction cards, and the 2 feeding frenzy action cards from the deck and set them aside. They're not actually used for a 2-player game. Then otherwise the setup is as normal. Since each player only has 1 target for their attacks, this is an extra cutthroat version. Okay. Alright, so let's go through these cards. I've got a nice list here, and I'm going to just try and find the, no, that's the reaction. So let's grab the menu items here. So here's some desserts, and I will show you those. You've got this one, which is a -5. To me, it pretty much looks like flan. Yeah, milk pudding covered in melted caramel. This is similar to the dessert that I was talking about. This one's made with papaya, so it's a -2. And it looks like they got a little bit of chocolate syrup in there, and then a vanilla bean ice cream topping. And the creme brulee is a -4. So you don't want to eat these. You know, these are, I mean, that right there, if you ended up eating 3 desserts, that's a -11 points against your total score. That's gonna hurt. That's really, really, really gonna hurt you. So here's the plus ones, the frango, which is it's just chicken. It's just a +1, so it's just one type of like chicken leg or whatever. And then we've got, looks like some, garlic and jalapeno marinated pork with a Parmesan crust, lambo. That's a +2. Yum. Man, garlic and jalapeno marinated, that sounds really good. See, the problem with playing this game is it makes you hungry. Yeah. So, yeah. Filet mignon. Tender beef marinated in a traditional Madeira sauce. Yum. That's a +3. I love filet mignon. It's one of my absolute favorites. It's a very tender steak. All right, moving along with the +4. Linguica. It's cured pork sausage known for its wonderfully robust flavor. +4 there. And there's a good amount of them. Costella. Short ribs rubbed with coarse salt and slow roasted. I would totally eat those. I'm a big fan of short ribs. That's a +5. So you want to eat as much of those as possible. Cordario, Cordari, Cordar, Cordario. It's lamb, basically. Juicy lamb. Marinated in wine and served with fresh mint. Nice +6 there for that lamb on the bone. Yum. Chuleta. A trimmed, hearty roast garnished with rosemary. And I love some rosemary. So I'd probably get that. I mean, wherever this place is that's serving these meats, and that's a +7, so it's really going to bump up your score there. I would totally go here and eat this place. So Fraldinha. Oh, it has an effect. You know, I didn't even read on some of these if they got effects on them or not. Let me go back. Yeah, the filet mignon has an effect. You may immediately play one action card. Lambo has you may immediately perform one eat action card. And Frango, you may immediately flip one food request token. Wow, yeah. Why am I not reading these? Why? I'm so sorry, guys. But this is a +8. It's a beef marinated in a sharp, tangy chimichurri sauce. And just look at that. I mean, the artwork on this is just fabulous and so realistic and makes me hungry even more. Ellie, you did a fabulous job. I'm so stoked about this game, y'all. Alcatra has an effect. All other players may immediately perform one eat action. So this is really good that you get a +9, and then you got to force everybody to eat too. It's a lean, savory cut of beef seasoned with sea salt. Mmm, yum. There's only one of those. So you want to make sure you get it. And the picana. You must eat 2 actions to eat this. So it's a +10, and it's the most coveted cut of beef. It's tender and capped with rich fat. And you see a picture of it. Only one in the deck, and because it's a +10, you've got to use both your actions in that turn to eat this sucker. So you get a full belly. Oh, I have the drinks. I didn't know that. I thought it was an extra thing. Wow. So here I am. I'm looking at them. Man, Capirina? I don't know. You know, I'm just going to butcher these names because that's how I am. But so this drink has an effect. You may discard one side or dessert from your stomach pile. That's pretty cool. This has 0 points because it is a drink. It's a traditional type of rum blended with lime juice and simple syrup. I probably have had one of these and just didn't know what the heck I was drinking because that's just how I am. There's a lot of those. That's pretty cool. And then your salad, I already showed you that. It's a crisp romaine salad with tomatoes tossed in a vinaigrette. And that's a -1. You don't want to eat those. It's going to go against your score, man. Bananas fritas, a delicacy coated in cinnamon sugar and fried to perfection. Yes, fried bananas. I mean, yes, please. It's a -2. I would eat that as a dessert for sure, but not playing this game because it's going to take 2 points away from my score, and that would not be cool. Batata no alho. It's roasted potato slices and olive oil, garlic, and fresh spices, and that's a -3. So that's really going to ding your score of that side. You don't want to eat it. Palo de Cuello? Savory rolls with soft Minas cheese needed in every bite. I remember eating those. That's a -3. They're really, really soft and delicate and fluffy and yummy. But it's a -3 to your score, so you don't want to eat them in this game. Eat them at the restaurant, but don't fill up on them. I mean, like eat one and then enjoy all the meats you can because that's really the point of the game there. All right, so moving on to the action cards. Let's see. I'm going to try and break these out so I can just show you one at a time. The action reaction cards. So you can see, like, here's Can I Get That For You? And you got some really cool character designs there. Discard all side and dessert cards from your plate. And so that's pretty cool to play on yourself because you get rid of all the negative points that are on your plate. And you just put them in the discard pile and hopefully you won't ever have to get them again. Then let's see, Gorge Thyself. Whoop. Make any player eat all food on their plate. This counts as a single eat action. So they could have a ton of negative points on their plate and you just force them to eat all that. I mean, that's really a really good strategy to play there. Second helping, yes, that's me. Raising my hand there. That's what I would totally do. So force any player whose food request card is green side up to draw a food card immediately. And there's, yeah, see, this is me again, this dude right here. Where are you going to eat that? Move a food card from another player's plate to your plate. I've used that many times, especially if somebody has one of those high plate or high point valued ones like the 9 or the 10. Man, just give me that food. Play with their food. Redirect an action card played against you that would remove food from your plate and choose another player for its effect. Strategy. So that's really good to have. Feeding Frenzy. All players eat all the food on their plate. This counts as a single eat action for each player and cannot be redirected. So it sounds like everybody would have to do that. So you're playing that. That's good strategy. I mean, like if you know you got that high value card there on your plate and you don't want it getting stolen, you might as well go ahead and play that card for sure. Stop playing with the food. Cancel another player's action card or reaction card. And see, I love the rolls and up in the air, and then this dude with the he's got cucumbers in his eyes, cucumber slices in his eyes. I mean, it's just the artwork on here is so great. Food coma. That's what usually after I go to the restaurant I have one of these. So prevent any player from performing a single eat action. Look over there, swap any two players' plates. And then, can I get that for you? An action card. Discard all side and dessert cards from your plate. I think I already showed that one, but I think it's I just like it. I like all the artwork. Yep. So that's it. I think I've shown you the action cards and the food cards, and I've talked about the game. And again, I can't say enough about how fun this game is. It's family friendly. It's a quick game. It's totally great for parties, friends, family, what have you. I mean, the gameplay itself, it's not that hard to pick up. It's just fun, and I would suggest eating before you play this game. Otherwise, after the game's over, thankfully it's only like 25 to 35 minutes, you're gonna be so hungry after seeing all the delectable food that Ellie designed on these cards. So again, shout out to Absurdist Productions for making a brilliant game. I love it. I am going to play it so much, and I really can't wait for when the 4 of us at Total Geek Live can get all together again in one place, and we're totally going to play this game a few times and just have a total blast. And maybe we'll live stream or something, hopefully further down the road later this year. But that's it, guys. That's my unboxing. Absurdist Productions, thank you so much for making this game. And next game you develop. And I will definitely be kickstarting that as well. Let me know if you need a playtester. I'm here, Kaiser's here, Guy in Baltimore. We can playtest whatever you throw at us. But that's it. I'll put all the information down below about how you out there can get your own copy of this game. It's a lot of fun, guys. But that's it for now. It's all Geek to us. Thanks for watching. Bye now.